Do I buy? Do I sell? Today, I'm going to break down the market here in Fort Collins in Northern Colorado, sharing with you all the details that you need to know whether you're buying or thinking about selling. If you're new to our channel, I'm Kevin Schumacher with eXp Realty, and our team serves all of Northern Colorado, specializing in Fort Collins, Loveland, Greeley, and all the different surrounding communities. And we help investors, first-time home buyers, second-time home buyers, people moving up, people moving down, people going through a hardship, people with an expanding family. So we bring you all the information you need to know to make wise and smart, educated decisions. Today, I really want to dive into the real estate market here in Northern Colorado. We have a lot of clients that are saying, Kevin, the market's been a little shifty. Are we peaking in values? Are the values going down? Interest rates have been going up. It seems like they're going down. Should we buy? Should we sell? How do we protect our equity? A lot to unpack. I want to break down all of those different pieces for you today and talk about where we are. So, in the last 6 months, when you look about where we are in the general market, reflecting back over the last 5 years, on average, we've appreciated 52% right here in Colorado. So a lot of homeowners have gained a tremendous amount of wealth and equity with that appreciation in building all of the equity in their home. With that said, interest rates have had a large impact on people entering the market as well. So when we look back at 2023, what we saw was a flattened market. We've seen values that really flattened out for the most part. We see in little peaks and valleys with the market. We definitely saw an influx in new construction, putting a lot of different new homes on the market. But as the market stayed flat, what we did see was a lot of builder incentives. We saw these builders sitting on inventory, having carrying costs, so throwing a lot of different incentives out there to move that inventory and incentivize and really force the market. So as we got into the end of the year in November and December, we started to get a lot more information from the feds on interest rates and where are they going, what are we going to see. Looking in the last 30 to 45 days, we saw rates come down to that 7.25 range. We actually saw them dip a couple of weeks ago below 7%. Then they dipped back up, so they're sort of toying with us a little bit. But what that's done is really it's brought a lot of consumer confidence to the marketplace. We have a lot more consumer confidence today on where we're going. So when you look at a lot of people that have owned homes over the last 5 years or longer, they're sitting on rates of 4.5%. Pretty hard to walk from those rates. So we have sort of a group of people that have been holding on to those interest rates. But with that group of people and homeowners, we also have people that have outgrown their home, or maybe they've had a life change where their job situation has changed, where their income has went down, or maybe they had a raise and their income has went up, and they've been holding off to make that shift because of the interest rate, waiting for rates to come down so that margin or that gap isn't quite as big as it was. On the flip side, we have a pool of buyers that were once in the market back when rates were low. Rates went back up, and all of a sudden we hit at 1.8%, they were no longer qualified in the marketplace, or it just didn't make financial sense for them to make a move at that time given the payment. Now that rates have come down, we're starting to see more and more people requalified into the marketplace. So as we start to see rates come down and we see more people coming into the marketplace, that enters the conversation of supply and demand. So when you look at the numbers in supply and demand, it's when you have inventories up and buyers are down, we have a tilted market. As the buyer pool increases, that is going to lower the listing pool, and now all of a sudden the market's tip. when that market tips, you have heightened buyer demand, lower inventory, you start to see a peak or a spike in pricing. That's the concern that we have right now. Again, we have a lot of builders and a lot of inventory and developments coming online. As we're seeing now, the incentives are starting to slowly go away because the inventory is being absorbed by these new buyers that are coming into the market. So when you talk about should I buy, I believe in the next 60 days, it's going to be an even more unique opportunity, because I think you're going to get ahead of the wave of the low interest rates and that group of buyers coming in that are requalified. Now, many have asked us, well, Kevin, why don't we just wait till rates go down? Well, what we've also seen with many of the lenders and mortgage companies out there is they need the business as well. So what they've done is they've structured loans and loan packages for homeowners where they can actually buy now, and even though the rates are going to be a little bit higher, you'll have the option to refinance within a 2-year period. You have a one-time refinance where you can refi for a nominal number. So essentially, you have a little bit higher number now, but you're also taking advantage of where the current prices are, because we will see that bump in prices as demand goes up and inventory goes down. So then at that point, you can refinance, get that payment down lower. Now, obviously that may not be the option for everybody, but that's an option worth pursuing and having a conversation on. Now, the other thing people ask is, who's been moving? Who's been buying? What's going on? Well, remember this is when rates were high, what we did see was a lot of high equity sellers that were making shifts, high equity homeowners making shifts, going and downsizing because the market was a little bit soft. They would sell their home, and because they had so much equity, they weren't really affected by the interest rates, or maybe they were cash buyers. When you look at national statistics, 28% of all homes are actually owned free and clear. Of all of that, you have 58% of all homes in the US, 58% have at least 50% equity or more. So there's a lot of equity buyers out there, looking back in my previous conversation about the last 5 years, 52% appreciation. So again, a lot of equity there. Now, when we talk about the numbers, let's dive into the numbers real quick and look at the sales and the sold numbers and what they've looked like for not only in January, but also reflecting and comparing that back to the last couple of years. All right, so here we dive into the numbers looking at January closed sales, which you can see on the far right and circled there in the top right. But I also wanted to show you a graph of 2021, 2, and 3, seeing how we peaked in our sales in 2021, and then the different dips in the market, as well as the cycles that we've been through. Looking at obviously in 2023, how the sales really slowed down in general for Loveland and Greeley, but in blue with Fort Collins definitely having some peak moments there in July as well as in September of closed sales, finishing out January of 2024 with about 135 give or take closings in each of the primary areas. Now, when we look at homes for sale, you can again see sort of the cycle in the market as far as the dip in 2022, as well as the market slowed down going mid-year, you started to see the inventory pick up on homes for sale. Again, a little bit of a dip in 2023, and then again, another surge of inventory mid last year, a lot of it due to the high interest rates as consumer confidence, as we've talked about, started to peak and people started trusting that the economy is going to improve. We started to see that inventory drop, which is where we are right now, sitting at 416 homes on the market in the Fort Collins area, 435 in Greeley, and then 362 in the Loveland area. Now here, again, talking about the seasonality curves, it demonstrates the new listings. You'll see peaks, which is where I'm pointing to here in the midsummer. So June, July, you'll see peaks in the amount of new inventory hitting the market. And then you'll see in 2023 the peak of inventory, and then going down in the fourth quarter. And now you'll see on the far bottom right a sharp drive spike upward in inventory, which is going to be the anticipation of the market really taking off and picking back up this spring. And a lot of that is due to a lot of the new construction that's coming on the market in anticipation of lower interest rates. And then here, the average sales price, which is always interesting. Fort Collins always leads the way in the higher price point. And so you can see there, Loveland's right on its tails of the price points gradually going up, seeing a few spikes in the Fort Collins market. And then looking at Greeley, in the general Greeley area, Greeley, Severance, Windsor, you'll see anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000 lower average sales price. And really, Greeley has always been that affordable corridor, a lot more land, a lot more area for growth, and area for affordable housing. So we'll finish off in January with the average sales price in the Fort Collins market at $659, the Greeley area at $473, and then Loveland sitting at $520. So now that we've looked at the numbers, let's talk about growth. And where is the growth? Well, when you look at the three major cities of Fort Collins, Loveland, and Greeley, all of them, obviously, as we looked in the numbers previously, we have different price points. And so Fort Collins is always a major attraction when you look at the employment corridor, when you look at Colorado State University, and the things that really draw people to Fort Collins. You have Fort Collins, but you also have Timnath. And when you look at some of the spikes in growth, Fort Collins itself has been really limited as far as its growth in general because of the boundaries, and they've ran out of dirt. So essentially those are spilling over into different communities like Timnath. Timnath is definitely an upcoming area. They've built some new schools. They have a lot of new construction and housing options, a little bit more affordable than the homes in Fort Collins. So that's always going to be a great option. When you look at Loveland also has some limitations as far as growth, but it's really been spilling over into Berthoud. And when you look at sort of that 287 corridor going right down the Rocky Mountains, and you have that panoramic view of the mountains, some of the new golf course communities that have been also built over there with Mariana Buttes, the TPC course, a lot of high-end, upper-end homes, also giving them a really short commute if they were to commute down into, like, say, the Longmont or even Boulder region. So that's created some really good opportunities. And then when you come further east and you're looking at Greeley has really spilled over into a lot of the other small communities, like example Windsor and Severance. Windsor's has had an enormous amount of growth, has a great downtown area that's continued to have a lot of growth with restaurants and small retail shops. And then additionally, they've done some expansions with the schools. They have 3 primary golf courses. They just built a new golf course, Rain Dance. So a lot of new construction there. And then right next to Windsor, you have Severance, which is a little bit more of the affordable corridor, but essentially right next to Windsor, and an easy commute to go into Fort Collins or also to go into Greeley. And then Greeley's always been the affordable place to go. As you can see, as we shared with you in the previous slides, you can save anywhere from $75,000 to $125,000 for a similar home to what you would get in Fort Collins. So for those that are looking for more of an affordable option, but yet easy access to everywhere, Greeley's always a great option as well. Now, what we also get from many of our clients is, well, I get it, Kevin, but where do we start? We get a lot of clients, whether you're coming from the Front Range down in Denver, driving up to affordability, or maybe you've just been renting in the area saying, what are my opportunities? Or maybe you've owned for a long period of time and you're saying, I need to downsize and get into something that's a little bit more maintenance free and take advantage of some of the amazing golf courses and just changing up my quality of life and the lifestyle that we live. There's a lot of different choices and a lot of opportunities. So I always suggest, give me a call, shoot me a message. Let's set up a Zoom call. Let's meet face to face, and let's talk about all the opportunities that we have here in Northern Colorado and find what's going to be best for you and your family, or whatever those dynamics are. That's going to help you find that quality of life and that lifestyle that you're looking for here in Northern Colorado, or really anywhere in the Front Range. Hopefully you subscribe to the channel, you like the video. We also bring you home tours, so make sure you check out our Northern Colorado home tours, where we take you in and we walk through and show you some of the different homes here in the Northern Colorado area to give you a first-hand glimpse of the different new construction, as well as some of the existing inventory as well. For all of your needs, the Kevin Schumacher team can help you out. We look forward to helping you and look forward to seeing you on our next video.